the boot door now. But anyway, and just a little. I mean, I have a lot to say, but I'm trying to just crumble it all in. So, like I said, my dad passed away. This was 1984. In 1986, I got a call from one of his buddies who was playing with a band called Los Tall Boys and Johnny Mora. That was in San Antonio. Those Tall Boys later became Elio Quintanilla, Los Tall Boys. And those guys had some hits in the early 90s. I don't know if you remember a song that went, right?
Margaritas.
Margaritas. And so they had a hit in the 90s, and then from there I went to Los Hermanos Farias, Tropa F, Oscar G, Tiger Diaz. And then I got a call in 1990, it was the end of 92. And I got a call from Gilbert Velasquez. By this time I was already doing studio work with Manny Guerra, with A.B. Quintanilla, with Gilbert Velasquez. He called me and he says, hey man, we're gonna start a band for this guy named Jay Perez. He just got out of David Lee's band. Are you interested? I said, yeah. Let's see how this turns out. And we recorded the first album in 1993 called The Year With Me, and I guarantee you Chris knows every song on that album.
I sure do.
So 1993, I mean, Jay Perez's career took off like a rocket, man, and we started playing a lot. We started doing very well, back in the house everywhere. But I always had that dream in the back of my head. What if you had your own band? I mean, this is great. We're doing great. I'm making good money with Jay Perez, But I always had that little angel behind me saying, hey, well, why don't you just make your own band? That way you see what it's like. So 5.5 years later, I had a talk with Jay Perez, and I said, hey, look, man, this is what's on my mind. And at first he was like, well, why do you want to leave, man? I mean, we're doing good. We've got a lot of gigs. We're making money. You need more money? I'll give you a raise. This is not even about that. It's just about, if I don't do it now, I don't know if I'm ever, I won't know. Maybe this is just a crash course. And he says, well, so we talked about it for about 2-3 weeks. And I remember the year 1997, we played New Year's. And I remember we had a meeting after that. And I said, Jay, I'm gonna do it, man. And he hugged me, patted me on the back, and he says, go get it. I was there once. I know how you feel. So go do what you gotta do. So I did it. And so I started calling all my friends, or the people that I thought were my friends, all these club owners. Hey man, I got my own band now, man. Can you book me? Well, where's your music? I said, well, I got some music. Well, can you play it for us? Yeah, it's right here. Well, we'll call you back. So I'm like, well, you're gonna call me back 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later? They just weren't interested because they were so tied to the fact that I was Jay's drummer. They said, well, when are you gonna go back with Jay? I said, I'm not. I'm on my own now. Man, you should stay with Jay. You should have never made your own band. I got all of this criticism. I got all this negativity. But that's like anything else, You get out of a hot band and say, no, man, forget it. So, here we go, I don't know, 5 years later down the road. I already had 3 albums under my belt. And little by little, se comenzó a conocer el nombre de Chente Barrera. Not Jay's drummer, not the guy that used to play with Jay, but Chente Barrera, the artist, right? And it took me a long time to get out of that, that mentality of people. Even program directors from radio people would say, oh, you're Jay's drummer, right? And I'm like, well, I used to be. So it was a hard thing for me to get away from that. And finally, we start doing our own thing, and I said, I gotta do something different. I gotta do something different so that these people stop saying that, So what I did was, I went to my library, and of course, I talked to you guys about this yesterday. I have a big library with so many bands, so many songs, and I came across Los Aguilares. Y'all know who Los Aguilares are? Mm-hmm. Okay. Los Aguilares. And I came across a song, Paloma Pepito de Oro. And I said, man, I like this song, but I need to make it different. How am I going to make it different? Well, I want to make it old school. I want to bring horns. I want to bring a brass section.